Hello, this is Max. A group of friends were poisoned at a party in a country house where the birthday boy's brother was waiting to take revenge for his sibling. You can subscribe to the channel after watching. It helps us a lot in real life. College students enjoy a lively Halloween party, celebrating the end of their term. Paul shares news of his exciting internship, but Eleanor worries about a potential long-distance relationship. Luke offers illegal substances to Paul and Chris, and despite initial reluctance, Paul eventually indulges. Meanwhile, Felix, a timid observer, becomes the focus of Luke's attention as he encourages Felix to pursue Gemma, who is already dating Chris. To bolster Felix's confidence, Luke gives him substances, leading to Felix asking Gemma out, only to be gently turned down. Paul and Eleanor are going upstairs for some privacy, but Paul passes out due to alcohol consumption. Disappointed, Eleanor initiates a game of truth or dare downstairs. A dispute arises when Felix, chosen for a truth question, selects Gemma as the person he'd like to spend the night with, leading to Chris taunts and aggression. Months later, the group receives an invitation to Felix's birthday party, where Chris, still bitter about his breakup with Gemma, harbors resentment. Gemma, Eleanor, and Paul also grapple with relationship issues. Paul's delayed relationship with Eleanor spurs her insecurity. Upon arriving at Felix's grand mansion, they are directed to a cabin in the woods for the party. Along the way, Eleanor asks Paul to carry her across a puddle to protect her shoes, while Chris seizes the opportunity to reconnect with Gemma by offering to carry her. At the cabin, Felix's brother, Justin, explains the mix-up regarding Felix's return from volunteering in Chile and suggests they have their own party. As they socialize, Justin, an Army veteran, observes Chris and Gemma's dynamics, commenting on their compatibility. He mentions Felix's previous advances on Gemma, creating tension among the group. When Luke approaches to offer nitrous, Justin opts to leave and associate with Eleanor and Gemma. Attracted to Justin's appearance, both women engage in amiable conversation with him, professing to be Felix's close acquaintances. Eleanor palpates Justin's muscles, insisting Gemma does likewise, causing an overzealous pull that results in spilled champagne on Justin, which he dismisses nonchalantly, though this seems a deliberate ploy by Eleanor to facilitate Gemma's advances on Justin. Their subtle flirtation continues until it is interrupted by Luke discussing the use of balloons as substances. Nonetheless, Justin proposes a game of truth or dare instead. Eleanor is the first to be dared to kiss Gemma, which occurs amidst playful rejections. The bottle then points to Gemma, revealing tensions with Chris, and subsequently to Justin, who discloses the true fate of Felix, shrouded in family secrecy and shame. Justin's revelations, including his military background and Felix's unthinkable act, shock the group, and a tension-filled atmosphere ensues, with Justin uttering derogatory slurs and revealing his intent to uncover the reasons behind Felix's actions. Oblivious to Justin's armed status, the group feels entrapped, and tensions heighten when a postcard with contentious wording links back to the Halloween party, implicating Chris and leading to violent confrontations, culminating in Paul being shot. Justin asserts control, with Luke obediently confining the group and securing their belongings. The atmosphere is drenched in guilt and uncertainty as Justin continues to interrogate about the postcard, leaving the group to ponder its origins, and confronts Luke about his role and his dealings with Felix involving forbidden substances. The discussions unveil underlying tensions, with accusations pinpointing Chris due to his past with Felix and Gemma. Nonetheless, Paul stands by Chris, urging for unity and focus on escape. Paul directs ongoing escape attempts, causing a disruption noted by Justin. On his return, negotiations with Justin ensue but prove futile, as Justin intensifies his inquiry, resorting to violence when Gemma is non-cooperative, leading to internal discord and blame towards Chris. However, Chris substantiates his alibi, creating turmoil and resulting in his turn reprisal from Justin. The ongoing game introduces severe potential harm, with Luke remaining indifferent to pleas for intervention as Justin sets a precarious dare for Chris involving a life-threatening choice for Gemma. Chris's reluctant decision spares Gemma, but tension escalates as Eleanor is compelled to make a perilous decision, revealing under duress that Chris had sent the postcard. However, this confession is discerned as deceit by Justin due to Chris's proven alibi. Paul casts Felix in a negative light, claiming he peeped on them and hinted at an unproven sexual orientation, prompting homophobic outbursts from Justin. The game escalates to a grim level, with Paul forced into making a tragic decision leading to Chris's agonizing demise. An unexpected arrival, Johnessy, following Luke, introduces a new layer of tension, ultimately ending in his painful death at Luke's hand under Justin's coercive directive. Within the cabin, desperation mounts, driving another attempt at escape. Gemma, amidst challenges, acquires tools and frees herself. Contrary to the group's expectations, Eleanor urges her solitary escape, cognizant of Paul's incapacitated state, leading to internal strife but shedding light on pragmatic considerations given the intense circumstances surrounding them. Outside, Luke begins to feel bad about the horrible thing he just did. He attempts to return the gun to Justin, but Justin insists he keep it, having developed trust in Luke. Luke is understandably fearful of the consequences, but Justin assures him that his influential family will shield them from harm, finally winning Luke's complete allegiance. They return to the hut, carrying the body with them. Upon realizing that Gemma has managed to escape, Justin immediately rushes to the car to track her down, leaving Luke in charge of watching over Eleanor and Paul. Gemma makes her way to the mansion and discovers Felix, who is still alive but severely incapacitated. Felix is confined to a bed and can only watch the unfolding events of the group's ordeal on a screen. Gemma confronts Felix about the cruelty of the situation, but he is unable to respond. Instead, he signals to her with his eyes that someone is behind her. When Gemma turns around, she finds Woodbridge aiming a shotgun at her. It was Woodbridge who rescued Felix and has been caring for him ever since he attempted the unthinkable. Unfortunately, during this attempt, Felix suffered brain damage due to oxygen deprivation. Gemma attempts to flee and takes Felix as a hostage, noticing a small blade taped to his finger, which she uses to intimidate Woodbridge and force him to retreat. Gemma takes the shotgun and cautiously leaves the room. However, Woodbridge lies in wait to ambush her, leading to a struggle in which Gemma ends up shooting the elderly man. She returns to Felix and requests a phone, and he points towards the computer. As Gemma tries to seek help online, the internet abruptly cuts off, and she realizes that Justin has caught up to her. Gemma once again tries to escape, but Justin forcibly brings her back into Felix's room. There, in front of Felix, Justin brutally eliminates Gemma, and Felix closes his eyes, unable to bear her death. Within the restrained confines of the cabin, Eleanor wrestles with Luke's guarded alliance with Justin, the air thick with concealed dread and desperate bargains. The atmosphere tenses as Paul, teetering on the brink of mortality, pleads for aid, his request intertwining with Eleanor's cunning machinations for freedom. Eleanor's feigned request for substances serves as a deceptive trap, luring Luke into her proximity, allowing her to launch a desperate and violent counterattack. In a tragic turn of events, Luke slips and is eliminated. Capitalizing on this opportunity, Eleanor frees Paul and seizes the gun. With no time to lose, Eleanor attempts to escape with Paul, who is battling his injuries. However, Justin returns to the scene with Felix in a wheelchair. Eleanor acts swiftly, shooting Justin in the shoulder. As she approaches, intending to finish him off with a final bullet, Justin deflects the gun and strikes Eleanor, severely wounding her as a result. During the struggle, Eleanor and Justin grapple on the ground, but Paul intervenes and punches Justin. Eleanor breaks the container of acid, and soon Justin finds himself tied to a pole. While Paul is eager to leave and just wants to go home, Eleanor isn't finished. Instead, she makes Paul wait in Justin's car where Gemma is lying. Once Paul is out of sight, Eleanor asks Felix to play truth or dare. It's as though she already understands the reason behind Felix's suicide attempt, and she encourages him to confront the person he fears the most. At that moment, Eleanor exposes the truth. The bankruptcy of Eleanor's father served as a catalyst for a series of manipulative machinations. She entangled Felix in a web of deceit and blackmail. The closeness was videotaped and constantly dangled a sword over his head. Yet, the wheels of manipulation spun further. Eleanor setting a stage where Felix, amidst unconscious realms, becomes a part of a contentious act with Paul, all under the watchful eyes of the camera. The fear of his brother's wrath, his homophobia, drove Felix to the brinks of despair and self-destruction. A moment later, Eleanor arms Felix with a grenade in her finger and leaves with the words "Great Party." With tears in her eyes, she gets into the car where Paul jets her. At that time, under Justin's pleas not to do it, Felix pulls the pin of a grenade and the house explodes. Eleanor starts the car and they drive away. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.